your destiny.
Hello everyone, Crow back with another episode of The Crow Show. If you didn't notice, I didn't do an episode last week, and that was pretty much because I was actually pretty sick that day. I've had something that's been going around for a while, and I still have it a little bit now, so I got a little bit of a cough, but for the most part it's gone. But last Sunday, when I was actually going to film the episode, that was the day it hit me the worst, and I was basically sleeping most that day. There really wasn't much to talk about then anyway, and I'm not really committed to doing this every week. Just pretty much when it's convenient. In fact, today I'm filming this today, Saturday, which is instead of Sunday, but I'm gonna post it Sunday because today when you're watching this, or when the day I post this, will happen to be Easter. So happy Easter, everyone. And I will be busy, but I got things that have transpired this week. There's pretty much of that. I like to cover some of that. So I'm going to start, as I always do, with pickups. Now, the only thing I would have shown last week is this Mystery Science Theater 3000 Volume 23, and it comes with, I still haven't opened this. Let's see, what does that come with? It comes with King Dinosaur, Castle of Fu Manchu, Codename Diamond Head, and Last of the Wild Horses. All these episodes are pretty much, I wouldn't say not top tier. I think the best one of these episodes, Castle of Fu Manchu in particular, and King Dinosaur, they're pretty boring episodes. But Last of the Wild Horses has a pretty interesting concept where Dr. Forrester and TV's Frank switch. They go into an alternate universe and become the good guys in the first quarter of the movie, and they're the ones actually in the theater riffing on it. So that's a noteworthy episode in that respect. And Codename Diamond, I guess, isn't that bad. It's not a decent. It's a decent episode, but when I would recommend episodes for people to watch, none of these would happen to be there. But I do collect them all, and I actually reserved this late last year. So I guess it's time for me to go look and see what the next volume is so I can pre-order that. I can't remember how much it's wound up being, either 30 or 40 bucks, which is how much I usually pay for them. Game-wise, that's the only non-game related thing, but since it is Mystery Science Theater and DVD related, I gotta show it off. My wife went to Five Below, picked up 2 PSP games for $5 each. First one is a very decent classic, and that is Lemmings. And based on the screenshot, this appears to be classic Lemmings. None of that 3D stuff or anything. It might be 3D. I don't know. I really can't tell. I might have to pop this in my PSP and tell. Too bad I can't, have a code and perhaps transfer this to my Vita and check it out. But Sony don't allow us to do that. So there's that. And then we have Medieval Resurrection. Now, the original Medieval, I believe, was a classic on the, I want to say the PS1, but I could be mistaken. It could be the PS2, but I'm pretty sure it was the PS1. And I guess this is the sequel to that. So 2 PSP games for $5 each, not bad. And lastly, eBay. Got a couple things off of eBay. Actually got this one today, Saturday actually. I wasn't expecting this for a while, but they shipped it pretty quickly. And Half Blind Gamer and Mark Vahir had been posting Arkanoid type games, like Half Blind Gamer played 2 of them for the Commodore 64. One of them was Batty, and the other one was Crackout. And Mark Vahir had posted a video response to that of Crackout with a K, which is the one I remember on the Commodore 64. And it got me thinking, you know what? Do I have Arkanoid on the NES? Because Arkanoid on the NES had a... At first I was just looking for the special controller that came with it, because it came with a special controller. And I was thinking, you know what? If I look... I'm pretty sure I have the game. I'm going to look for that controller and see if... And I couldn't really find the controller in a decent condition for a decent price by itself. And I looked at my collection. I realized I didn't even have Arkanoid for the NES. So I was looking online, and I found one that was pretty decently priced with the cartridge. And so I got Arkanoid for the NES. It comes with the manual. And it comes with the special Arkanoid controller. This is a dial to control the bat and a fire button. Altogether for, at the last minute, I decided I was going to bid on it. They had a buy it now price of $39.99, but I don't think anybody's going to bid on this, so I just bidded, $34.99, saved myself $5. Nobody else bidded on it. And then with shipping, it came to a little bit over $40. But man, the person who shipped this packed so much. It came in such a big package. Everything was wrapped in bubble wrap. And I was impressed with the amount of packing. There was probably like 6 inches of padding on both sides just on the cartridge alone. And something you don't see is they sent there's no address here. They sent a little note, a handwritten note. I'm just going to read that off here. You don't get that with eBay. I mean, I certainly don't write handwritten notes and send it out to the customer saying something like, "Hi, thank you for your purchase and quick payment. Both are appreciated. I've left feedback for you and trust that you will be satisfied with this transaction and your purchase after you receive your purchase. Your feedback is greatly appreciated." I think that's exactly what it's. You will be satisfied with this transaction and your purchase after you receive your purchase. Your feedback is greatly appreciated. If you have any problems or concerns, please contact me at and then their website, I guess their email address. It's been a pleasure dealing with you. We hope you enjoy your purchase. Thank you for taking the time to view and bid on our auction. Regards, and then the name. And I the only other time I remember receiving a note like that is when I bought Gunstar Heroes off of Amazon. Somebody left a similar note, and I think I actually left that in the case. So I might have to leave this note with this Arkanoid game in this sleeve here, because it's just something you don't see that often. But yeah, I'm gonna have to try this out, because you don't get dials with like panel controls with anything past the Atari 2600 really anymore. I know with the Jaguar, you can modify your Jaguar controller to have a dial that'll work with Tempest, but really, it's not the norm, not at all. And then secondly, I had been, if you've been following the story of me and my Astrocades, my Astrocade broke, and I bought another broken one on eBay, thinking that I might be able to use the two and combine them together or something. And what I had done is I had gone on eBay, did a search for Astrocades within the U.S., saved that search, and then I set that search up to email me all the new listings every day. So every day I get an email and see, oh, here are the new Astrocades. And I'd kind of look at them, not that many every day, but it would show me all the new listings for games too. And ran across one, and it seemed pretty decent, so I followed it. And I actually won it, and I won it for cheaper than I won the non-working Astrocade for. I won it for around $60, and it was $20 shipping. I think the reason I won it for that price was because it actually ended early Saturday morning, and I happened to be up. So I don't think that many people were up trying to snipe at early in Saturday morning for an Astrocade. But, yeah, I got the Astrocade. Here it is. I got this, yesterday. It's actually in very good condition. If you look at the keypad, this keypad is in amazing condition. There's, a little bit of marking there, but that's, the only flaw I can really see with this. And, plugged it in, turned it on. It has the cleanest signal. Cleaner than my original one ever was. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. It did come with a few games. A couple of them I did have already, but the ones I didn't have, and I already put those in a pile somewhere else. It came with Tornado Baseball, Tennis, Hockey, and Handball. It came with Dog Patch. And Dog Patch actually came with the instruction manual as well. And the other one I didn't have was Blackjack, Poker, and AC Deucey. So, I wasn't even looking at the games it came with. I was just interested in getting an Astrocade, and I played with it for a little while. The system is a I don't know. It's hard to explain. It's a very entertaining system to play. I mean, I would rank it higher than the Odyssey 2. Maybe a step above the Atari 26. No, I don't know. And I would rank it in between the Odyssey 2 and the Atari 2600 in terms of systems I like. And so yeah, that's everything. Let me get my bearings here on my piece of paper that I wrote. Now, another section that I'd like to, well, it's just games that I'm looking forward to. And this game is already out for the Android and the iOS, and I've talked about it already before, and that's the Pinball Arcade by Farsight Studios. I think it's Farlight Studios, perhaps. And the reason I'm mentioning it again is because just either today or yesterday, I just noticed it today, and I downloaded them today. The two new tables are available as DLC for them on the Android and the iOS. And those two tables are Medieval Madness, great table, and The Machine, Bride of Pinball, another excellent machine. So I downloaded those on my phone. I played Medieval Madness just for a little bit when I was in a trip in the car. My wife was driving. I wasn't driving and playing pinball. I swear I wasn't. But yeah, I mean, it looks, the physics seem way better, even on my phone, than they did on the Xbox version, perhaps even the PS3 version. So yeah, I played that a little bit. That was pretty cool. But the other reason I'm mentioning a Pinball Arcade is that it's available right now for $10 on Xbox Live Arcade. And you can even download the free trial and play the tables up to a certain score as a trial. And but I'm not going to get it on XLBA because April 10th, Pinball Arcade will be available on the PSN for the PS3 and on the PS Vita. And the reason I'm waiting for that is because that one purchase, if I purchase it once for the PS3, it's also that purchase is also good for the PS Vita, and that's what I was kind of hoping to see. I was like, oh, I only need to buy that once, and I'm able to play it at home and on the go. Don't need to purchase it once for the PS3 and once for the Vita. I would have been kind of annoyed. I could have seen them doing that, but the fact that one purchase is good for both systems, it's something I'm glad they did. I really am. Because also when new tables come out, I'm going to be able to buy those just once and play them on both. So I'm looking forward to that in a couple days. Downloading Pinball Arcade on the PSN. It'll be $10. DLC. The tables seem to be like they're going to be about $2.50 each. So each table in the long run is about $2.50, which I think is more than a fair price for that. So like if you downloaded, the Pinball Arcade, just the main game, and bought it, $10, 4 tables, $2.50 each. Even though I think if you were to buy the tables separately, it breaks down differently than that. But I think as a rule of thumb, it's about $2.50 per table. So yeah, and moving on from that, I just kind of wanted to do an update. I think I might have done this a couple weeks ago, but I never really made any mention of it. But the other system I was having problems with was the N-Gage QD I bought. The first one had the white screen of death. And I bought another one, and I kind of showed it off, and I said I really hadn't been able to test this out, and I wasn't able to put a game in there or anything. So I took it apart, and actually it was kind of funny the way you take it apart, because you don't actually need a screwdriver just to take the shell off the way you take it apart. So I took it apart, and it turned out there was like a mini, like a half-size memory card in place of where the game should have gone, and that's why I couldn't fit the game in there. So I took that out, and it turns out that the N-Gage doesn't want to work at all unless you put in a SIM card, and it doesn't matter if it works or not. As long as a SIM card is in there, then you could work it. So I got the, see here, I got my N-Gage. I swapped the cases because the original one I bought that didn't work had a much better case than the one that actually did work. So let's see here. How do I load the game up? Yeah. So I got the game going on here. So as you can see, this N-Gage works just fine. So yeah, Tony Hawk is working. I haven't really tried any other games out, but I will need to do that. Everything works just fine on this, so I got my working N-Gage QD up and running. Kind of a bizarre system. I remember when the system came out, I was thinking, kind of an interesting system, but I really have no use for a cell phone at the time. I didn't get a cell phone till past 2000, I guess. But, looking back as a collector, it's something I would have liked to have. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to start looking for N-Gages. And of course, it took me 2 purchases of an N-Gage to get a working one, but what are you going to do? The one that non-working one turned out to work quite nicely as a very nice shell for it. So that's pretty much it for pickups and updates. Just a quick question out there for anybody that is interested in new consoles that are coming out. There's the Wii U that's been announced. There's the PS4, or otherwise known as the Orbis, or codename Orbis, or maybe that's what it's actually be called. And then there's a new Xbox. So everybody's waiting for these new consoles coming out. And, specs are being leaked and rumored about and everything. And honestly, at this point, I couldn't care less. My question is, does anybody really care about these specs and everything at this point? Because it's going to take more than just specs to get me excited about these systems. I want to see some, footage or anything. And I don't think that, footage of these game systems is going to excite anybody either, because it's going to be, to me, it's going to look pretty much the same, except it's going to have, higher resolution. And, I don't know, I'm just thinking back to like when I had an Atari 2600 and I saw, people with NESs and the graphics of the NES. To me, that seemed like a huge leap. I mean, of course, there were more systems in between the Atari 2600 and the NES, but those being the most popular at the time that I had and saw, computers notwithstanding, I was blown away by NES, and I wanted to get an NES. And then, of course, Super Nintendo. By that time, I was getting game magazines, and I was looking at the graphics for Super Nintendo. And, I was never into the Genesis, honestly. But on a Genesis and TurboGrafx-16 did look way better than the NES. But it was the graphics of the SNES that made me want to jump to an SNES from an NES. And then the PlayStation, that came out. That blew my mind away. I wanted to get a PlayStation. And then PlayStation 2, I had one reserved months and months and months in advance, waiting for the PS2 to come out. Now, when the PS3 and Xbox 360 came out, there was, to me, I didn't see a difference at the time. That's pretty much because everybody had still standard definition TVs. But when everybody switched to high definition, you needed a high definition TV to really appreciate the differences and the leap in technology between the PS3 and a PS2, or the Xbox and the Xbox 360 or whatnot. But now, what's it going to be? What more can they do? I mean, any type of game that you're going to be able to do on a PS3, you're going to be able to do on this next system as well. It's just going to be a higher resolution, and it's going to look better for people that have bigger high definition TVs. You're probably going to need like a 40 plus inch high definition, probably bigger than a 40 inch high definition TV to notice any upgrades in resolution or anything. So I don't even know these systems that are coming out, if it's going to be, worth it to even get them right away until you get like a better entertainment system. So that's just my thoughts on it. At this point, I don't care because, I've got a 38. My main TV I play all my games on is a 38-inch television. And, most of the PS3 games and Xbox 360 games play in 720p anyway. So I'm not going to notice, that big of a difference if because my TV is still capable of 1080p, but just the fact that it's smaller, and I'm not going to notice that big of a difference unless I had like a TV that was at least 10 inches bigger than that, and I just don't have that, so I don't really care. I mean, really, all that matters is the way the game plays, how much fun it is, and Yeah, it's just my thoughts. I'm not that excited about new systems coming out. I mean, I probably wouldn't be excited for it for another few years, at least till like 2015, I would think. So, I mean, that's just my thought. Maybe I'm just growing sour on the whole thing with everything needing to be connected online to play and everything. And maybe this is the system I stop at, the PS3 or something, or the Xbox 360, and I just enjoy all the older games I never got a chance to play. Maybe I'm getting to be that kind of gamer at this point. I don't know. Because I look around and I have so many games I never even touched. So maybe it's time for me to go back and play Chrono Trigger for once, or Earthbound, or tons of other games I've never played that like Shinobi, even all those Master System games I've got. Maybe I need to go back and play those instead of looking forward to a new system. So yeah, it's just my thoughts on it. And I was just wondering how excited anybody else is about this stuff, with all the, everybody tweeting and making videos about, the specs of the Wii U, the specs of the Orbis, the specs of the next Xbox. I don't care. It doesn't matter. Show me the games. I mean, that's really what's important, isn't it? So yeah, enough about that. Last thing, shout out. I kind of decided to do this video impromptu. I do have a list, but I usually plan it out like more in advance. But I highly recommend this channel. I'm going to do a shout out for 8-Bit Goomba. Now, a lot of people already know 8-Bit Goomba, but if you don't, visit his channel because I find it very entertaining. And every time he puts out a video, I have to watch it because of... It's just his personality. He's got that inherent personality, humorous style of personality I find hilarious. Does pickup videos and just other completely random type of videos. Just goofy, off the wall kind of stuff. And, some of my favorites happen to be the Goomba from McDonald's that he got that did that awesome backflip. That was an awesome video. And also his church hot dog videos. Yeah, 8-Bit Goomba will always be known to me as Mr. Church Hot Dog because that was some funny stuff. And that'll be it for this video. Thanks for watching. See y'all next time. Bye.
Come to think of it, the ocean really sucks.